My name is Alex Seaver, and I was the composer and executive producer for Arcane.
Arcane. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your last project? Where you left it and how you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling empty inside. I just did 6 years of both seasons of the show. It was my favorite thing I've ever done, and I was just like totally consumed by it. We wrapped our second season last November, and that's it for the show. They only wrote 2 seasons, and it was a incredible animated series. We did all the animation in Paris, and we did a 22-song soundtrack and 9 episodes.
How did you get started in this business?
Yeah, so the show is actually developed by a video game company called Riot Games. They produce League of Legends. It's probably their most popular game. And so they, in one weird corner of campus, were just developing this TV show, unbeknownst to any of us. And then the director of it, Christian, he brought me over and just showed it to me and said, "What do you think? Do you want to write music for this?" And I was like, "Hell yes."
Camera photographer for Big Old Bell Media. What was it like going into this experience? Did you have a certain idea, or they kind of just let you freelance for it?
It was definitely like a lot to take in at first because it's just dense, so much music. But Christian, the showrunner, he was just like really clear. He came from a musical background, which was a huge help. And him and our animation studio called Fortiche, they just love music. They love songs, so they were like. They gave us a lot of freedom, but still you're like paralyzed when you're like, I don't want to mess this up. Like what should I do? And we had a really strong team that was all able to like song by song, cue by cue, really suss out like what do we want to do here, what do we need.
Yeah, that's really great. Is there a dream project that you're thinking about now that you want to go forward with after this?
I just want to do 10 more seasons of this one, man. Like, honestly, like, this was, like, everything I've ever wanted in my career was, like, this one show.
Yeah.
So now it's honestly like, all right, like, what is something totally different that I can try? I'm working with a really great artist right now. We're going to do 10 shows at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So we're doing, like, a whole thing there. And that's just, like, a really fun, very different adventure that I'm working on right now. But, yeah, just kind of looking for more projects that made me feel the way that Arcane did.
That's really cool.
Can you tell us who are you going to be, like, what is going to happen, like, if we went to the Sphere, what is it that's going to be on the Sphere?
Yeah, I mean, the artist hasn't announced it, so I can't spoil it, but it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on my pages. I'll eventually post about it. But it's a really cool, very surreal and unusual experience because you're like, the rules of physics and sound and visuals are different here.
Have you been to a show?
I haven't. I'm going to Backstreet Boys in mid-August. That'll be my first one, and I'm really curious to see what it's like.
It's awesome. I've actually been
Okay.
there. Yeah,
What'd you see?
U2's the Octoon Baby tour. Yeah,
Sick. Was it great?
It's sick.
Okay. It looks surreal when people post videos where you're like, I can't even comprehend like where it ends and begins.
It's like you're in a fishbowl.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious to know what, how playing with that musical space is like, when you can have it kind of coming from all around, mixed with the visuals.
Yeah.
And since you're actually on this crazy project now, are you going to have to relearn some of the techniques, given that you have to play with this kind of four-dimensional?
Some of it's a little similar to Arcane, where it's like multimedia in many dimensions like that. There's a team that works there that's really great, and they'll educate you on how to prep your music for them. I learned a lot already, which is like, you can't give them a normal stereo track with a left and right channel because the Sphere's big enough, it's pointed at individual seats. Like, it's crazy what the technology is. I honestly don't even understand it.
It is really something else. I mean, you could see every dollar that they put into it.
Okay, that's cool.
There.
I'm really excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really fun. Just bouncing off of his question, now that you've been in this immersive world of Arcane and now you're working on this really big project with the Sphere, do you want to go back to doing music from the beginning as a composer, or do you like this space better?
I actually really like the mix. Like, if I'm on one project the entire week, I start to like go a little crazy. So like right now I'm working on my 3rd album, and it's just been really nice to like get back to basics. Like, why did I start writing music to begin with when there's nobody hiring me and I'm the boss of whether it's good enough or not? It's like a whole nice refreshing thing about like, all right, what is music to me right now? Because every couple of years, like, you clump on a whole lot of new experiences and you get better, and some things you get worse at, and it's nice to just kind of check back in and be like, all right, what do I love right now? Like, what am I dying to make?
Yeah. Have you ever like dived back into your old catalog and kind of looked at old stuff and
It's
seen
hard to do.
seen the progress? Because you like listen, you're like, what was I
That's
doing
the positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's like look at how far
The
you've
progress,
come. For me,
right.
it's oh my god, I can't believe I used to think this is good. I'm so ashamed.
I know. Yeah, I've done that several times myself, and I'm like, is this trash cans or did I?
Yeah, I mean
did I
that's
put
that's
this
the
together?
nature of it. I try to be like, whenever I release something, I'm like, listen, I'm sure a week from now I'll know how to mix this kick drum better, but this is the best I'm capable of right now.
Right.
And like I can make peace with that. As long
Yeah.
as I'm never like phoning anything in, like I'm okay if it's rusty or just silly or cringy. Like it happens, and most of my catalog feels that way to me.
Yeah.
I think we are all our harshest critics.
Completely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are there some colleagues of yours, like have you seen something, small screen, big screen? Who do you think is pushing the envelope? Do you feel like you're trailing behind? Do you feel like you're ahead of it? You know, like where do you see yourself in the kind of the greater picture?
It's fun when you start to like feel a little bit more like confidence in yourself to like just celebrate your colleagues. The clip I played earlier was this artist called Woodkid, and I was a huge fan of his before we worked together. And then as we were wrapping up Arcane, he was living in Japan next to Hideo Kojima, working on the Death Stranding 2 soundtrack, and he was playing me stuff like early on, and I was like, this is gonna be good. And the game came out like 2 months ago, and I've just been listening to the soundtrack on loop. So it's just really fun to be like I'm a fan of this guy, and it's like a colleague. Then we've done 3 or 4 songs together, and it's just like great to be like, wow, that's so. You inspire each other, you know. It's like a feedback thing.
Yeah. Have you had time to really dive into gameplay as far as like, I mean, just musically wise? I know you had say a friend that was doing the Death Strand.
Yeah.
But have you thought about doing music also for gaming as well? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I like made a whole soundtrack for a game for like 2 summers ago, and then the game got canceled. And I worked like all summer on it. I was really excited because it was my first time doing that thing where you're like delivering stems that can loop to any other point of the music because the player might wander in and out of a battle. It's like that kind of like technology meets music thing that I had never done before. So I was really excited to like go through the process, but then the game got canned. So like I'm still kind of like, I want to get that experience. I love games. I'm a gamer, and I just like love what. You know, when you play a game for like 40 hours, you listen to the music, like you know the music, and I love that relationship.
Yeah, that's great.
Have you ever been turned on to a specific type of music by watching a movie or a TV show that you wouldn't normally have ever turned on before?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like trying to think of a good example of that. But yeah, like I just got back from this music festival called Glastonbury that's in the UK. And I had been watching this artist called Ray, because like her stuff had been on like a show that I had seen, and I'm like, who is this? And that got me into a lot of like other UK styles of music that I just really love now, just like jungle and garage and all these kinds of styles. I have more examples, but I'm like blanking, but that happens to me all the time where you're just kind of like, whoa, like what is this? This is cool.
How do you think the narrative of the actual, movie or TV show plays into the effects of the music that you're hearing?
It's a great question. Like Labyrinth score for Euphoria was another one like that, where I'm like, I love Labyrinth, but it's like something about that. This is why I'm obsessed with the field I'm in. Is like that pairing of like on screen with. They don't have on their own. Like when you mix a great piece of music at the right time in a scene, it's like. Boom, it's like lightning in a bottle, and so I think like that's probably why I'm just so addicted to this specific field of like writing songs for film and television, is I just love that marriage.
Is there a example of that you can
It's kind of funny.
that like inspired you?
Yeah, like I was listening to this awesome interview that Trent Reznor did with Rick Rubin, and he's clearly like he's 9 Inch Nails, like he could just make records for the rest of his life and tour. But you could tell that when he met David Fincher and did like The Social Network, you could tell he got hooked, and he's been hooked ever since on it. And I've never met Trent Reznor, but I'm like, I know what you feel like I get it. Like when you make a thing and then you see it on screen with great storytelling and great acting and sound design, you're just like you're part of it, this team that is so much bigger than yourself, and you're like, all of this is great because of the moving parts.
And I think that movie's kind of boring without that music.
It's so interesting what that music brings to it, because it's a calm, steady, quiet movie, and his like camera movements are so like surgical and kind of creepy, and then that score is just like something about it. And I saw this quote where he was like, he'll ask Trent Reznor to make like spa music, and he knows Trent Reznor is such a demented guy that if you ask him to do it, he's gonna make weird, creepy spa music. And I'm like, that's kind of what that score feels like to me.
Do you have a project where you feel that they've really pushed you?
Yeah, I mean, this Arcane one was a huge one for me. In between seasons, the showrunner asked me to executive produce the entire soundtrack, and I'd never led before. I just make music. I'm in my studio by myself, and he was asking me, like, oversee this entire thing with Linkin Park and 21 Pilots and Sting and all these artists, and, like, tell them what to do, guide them, and bring it all home. And I just didn't think I was capable of it. I was like, I've never done this before. I'm way out of my element. And I think that was one of my favorite experiences because, like, a lot of people say, like, when you take something that's just above where you think you're capable of, you really reach and you sort of rise into those moments. And now it's like I've grown years in just that one job. So that's probably the best one for me.
Yeah. There's a last question. So you being in the studio all the time, kind of by yourself, that's your working space, kind of introvert, right?
Yeah, totally.
What is it like being out in front of all these people and like having to carry on this conversation? Explain what you do on a day-to-day basis, you know?
It's a weird thing because I think probably a lot of us are like super introverted. Like I can like when lockdown was happening, I was like, oh, I'm built for this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I don't have to talk to a single person for like I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, you learn your limitations where you're not quite that introverted, but it's like it's hard. And for this, these are really cool because it's like passionate people. Like
Right.
passionate fans is like I'm a passionate fan. Like that it all feels home.
Right.
But yeah, when you're on like a whole press tour or marketing yourself is so hard. Like I hate doing that. There's a lot of elements that are just like very out of character. So you just kind of like, I don't know, you just kind of suck it up and take a shot and get out there and talk to people when you need to. But yeah, it can be tough sometimes.
It's crazy. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. Really appreciate talking to you.